Welcome back, passive income investors alike. Today, what? The company promising wireless charging up to 15 feet away with all your devices that pretty much contain a battery. So let's jump right into this one, guys. All right, guys, today I want to start by showing you a clip that intrigued me, that this stock has been on my watch list for a while, but I think this Joe Rogan clip sums it up because I thought this was kind of funny. Let me just show you this real quick.
I can't wait till the day where like your garage floor is like a wireless charging mat. You just pull right up into the mat, or they.
Well, it never would be because it's rubber.
Well, I'm sure they'll find a way. Because like there's like if you take your phone and put it on a wireless charger, there's like a little room that if you don't have to touch it. Like maybe
that's the whole reason why you're safe from getting hit by lightning, bro.
Yeah,
like that the rubber protects you from electricity.
But if you park though, a little thing comes down to the ground, like a little
maybe. Yeah, but what if that thing falls out while you're driving?
A little boner.
These guys have no idea. And this was talked about before as well as electric cars become more prominent. Is there a possibility that you could wirelessly charge your car when it is parked in the garage? Anyways, we're going to deep dive into this, guys. And I want to start also by showing you a quick, I'm only going to show you like 10 seconds, 20 seconds of this ad video on the website. If you want to watch the full video, you can check out the website right here, guys. But let's jump right into this one too.
We live in a connected world with more reliance on electronic devices than ever before. From our home to our workplace to our car, these devices are always with us. With everything being wireless, why do we still have to plug these devices in to charge the battery? Energous is leading the launch of Wireless Charging 2.0, which supports charging devices over the air, as well as fast charging at contact. Imagine all of your electronic devices.
All right, I think you get the idea, and I just want to break this down because I'm sure you've seen a wireless charging pad. Most phones, Samsung, new iPhones, guys, they all have those little weird coils in the back, so when you put it up against a charge pad, it can send a frequency and charge it. And we're going to break down some of the technology behind this, but let's quickly look at their chart. This is the company, guys. It's called WATT on the NASDAQ. It's the ticker, and it's Energous Corp. It's been around for a little while. Definitely not a new company, guys. This one's, well, it's new in the perspective of the stock market, but it's luckily been surviving since, 2014. So it's been around for a good solid 5 years. And it hasn't done much for shareholders currently. We've had a lot of rallies. Since then, a lot hasn't happened with this company, but we're looking at a market cap, which I'm not sure how accurate that 181 million is. There's no PE. We're not profitable yet, clearly. And let's get into it. I want to start looking, though, at the receivers and the transmitters. So this is the technology. This is what I was really trying to dive into when I was trying to figure out how this technology worked, what is the fundamentals behind it. And essentially, this is the receiver. First of all, guys, so the receivers are these little tiny things, and what you have to realize about this is they're trying to show it in all these devices that you can charge it, but the problem is this hasn't been applied to products yet. So what you have to imagine is if this technology actually does begin to take off, it's nice that they can show you this little chip, but as I read through this before, there it is again, charge up to 15 feet away. I've yet to find a video about this either, but we'll get more into that after. So essentially, this seems to be the receiver that they're promising you could put in almost any device, but again, it hasn't been put in the device yet. iPhones aren't installing this technology. They're using the wireless pad charging, things like that, guys. No one has adopted this yet. So just remember that when they try and tell you this is how small it is. It can fit in almost any device. We're going to show you all the devices you could put this little thing in, but it's not in there yet, so it's not like you could just plug this thing in and go. Might I say, too, I'm going to go back here in a sec because I haven't reviewed their website just yet. Let me go home. I just want to give you guys a quick rundown of this, too. So this was the intro to the website, the thing I showed you in the beginning, and it is beautifully done, this opening part of the website. The rest of it, I'm still a little iffy with, but the people that put it together did quite a good job of it. So you can see the device here is the pretty much the output and the receivers in these devices. But again, let's go back into the receiver itself. I noticed that the receiver we looked at, the transmitter, this big box here, they don't really talk about too much. They don't show the device a whole lot. They kind of show a pad here for the quick charge, I guess. It doesn't look all that appealing the way it's laid out in this, and I see the way they try and hide it, and they really want you to focus on the fact that it will be wirelessly charging, but you're going to have this ugly box that looks like a big Bose speaker or something. I remember the original photos I saw, they were thinking about a big device that would sit up in the middle of your ceiling, like with your fan, and then it would output below to anything at 15 feet. But that is a big claim, and they're already saying you can't fast charge, up to 15 feet away. So, I mean, are you even going to be getting enough of a charge that it's working? Or would it be just enough to register? And this is just sending out radio waves, guys. So there's just radio waves somehow powering this stuff. It's very interesting, and this is FDA approved, which is one thing I want to mention as well. That's why I became so interested in this company, because when it essentially IPO'd, went public, the big thing was, can they actually get the FDA to be like, oh yeah, this isn't going to give you cancer? And they got approved. They have patents, which we're going to be able to look at here as well in a second. They also have technology and apps, I'm sure, to help run this on iOS. They're clearly promoting and whatever else. You guys can come check this out if you want. But let's take a quick peek at the intellectual properties, because they say they're trying to get 202 patents allowed applications. So they're pushing for this many patents, and right now they have 183 granted and 125 patent application, 19 allowed applications expected to issue shortly. So right now this company is fighting to do one thing and one thing only, and that's the toughest thing in the 21st century, guys, and that is to own a proprietary product. They say you own the rights to it, the intellectual property behind it. The problem is China's very smart. China's very, very smart, guys, and I'm going to break more of that down as well. You can kind of see where my mood's heading with this company, because I have looked into this already. I'm just showing you guys before I give you my own personal opinion whether you should be buying or selling this. It's a very interesting company, mind you. But here you can see the patents, guys, that they're fighting for. They have quite a few patents already. You can kind of check them all out in all these different ideas. It's really interesting that they lay this out as these wireless chargers. It's kind of interesting, and you can see that you can literally just break down into what they actually own the patents on, which again, this is, in my opinion, where most of the company's money lies right now. So I would really take your time if you plan on getting involved in one of these wireless charging companies to go over all of these patents and make sure what they own is very hard to replicate, and very hard to replicate well. That's like, let's put Tesla as an example, guys. Tesla has done something that's very hard to do, and they're doing it very well. Find somebody that's doing it equally or better. I don't think it exists yet. So that's the challenge with this company right now, but we're going to keep going into this. Let's take a look at their investor presentation. This is another website that I love because they lay everything out so I can actually see it and understand it a little while. But let's take a look at the investor presentation. There's a few things I want to go over in here. This, again, just kind of goes over the spectrum of, this little device with this little box thing that looks like a speaker can help you charge. They really, really like pushing the idea of these patents down your throat because, again, I think this is a patent company and not a product company yet. And like I said, I'll break that down shortly because they really love shoving all of this stuff down your throat. All the same stuff we saw already at the beginning of the website. There's not much difference here, guys, other than them just talking about some of their setups. I noticed that a lot in here does not talk about their sales distribution, what they're trying to do. One of the largest CE companies in the world. That's fine, immediate, and substantial impact on launch. Yeah, it's interesting. We get it. But they don't talk about sales channels or what these products are going to be in or who's buying them. But they're talking about medical patents and things like that. They get transmitter receivers. I don't know. Again, they already have this stuff. Remember, guys, that little charging pad you use on your phone. You can buy those things for your cars, guys. They're just little wireless pads. And if you have a newer phone, it'll pretty much wirelessly charge to the same ability that they're saying they can charge, which is if you want quick charge, you have to put it on the box. And if you want regular charge, you got to put it near the box. But we say we can do it from 15 feet away. But we're not really pushing that idea just yet, clearly. But here we can see the balance sheet at a glance. I love the way they say this. Balance sheet at a glance, because this is not what you want to look at. And I'll explain why in a sec. So first of all, we're talking about a relatively really tiny company. When we're talking about tens of millions, guys, we're talking about a really tiny company. That might sound outrageous to you, but for a $181 million market cap, that's just what the company is valued at publicly today. But for a company that makes, they only have cash equivalents of $28 million. This is where things get interesting because this isn't income. This is like capital raising and stuff like that, guys. So we got total current assets of about $30 million and look at total liabilities of $3.8 million. And again, that's today's liabilities. This makes it look much better than it is. And I'm going to show you why, because the history of this doesn't really take us too far into product, because again, total funding, it's like we're still in funding, ATM financing, strategic investments. To me, this is a patent company. Like, the more and more I look at this, I feel like they're not putting products together and selling them, they're putting patents together, and they want to own the reality of what this could be in the future, and they're trying to get a big foothold on it before anybody else can, which is interesting. It is an interesting foothold in this market that doesn't exist yet, guys. It's really interesting to me, and that's why I wanted to break this down. So we're going to jump into their balance sheet, because this is where the things that are hiding that concern the heck out of me are. They're not necessarily in here, but we'll just take a quick look at their current liabilities, guys, and of course where we got what are we in here? We're in the balance sheet. Cash equivalents looks like it's gone up over time, but again, this is funding. Here we go. Total current assets. We got 20 million, and then you got total assets of 22 million total assets. And we have current liabilities. A total liability of 3.6 million. So that's just debt to liability, guys. But where things get interesting is in the accumulated deficit. Dun dun dun. This number blows my mind. We have 224 million. That's right, guys. $224 million an accumulated deficit with an additional paid-in capital of $243 million. It's a big number there, guys. And if you want to know why that is, or what that number really means, we have to kind of go into their cash flow, their statement of cash flow, because here we can see that their net loss, because they've been spending a lot of money, is absolutely insane, guys. So where do we see how many people work for this company? Somewhere back in that thing. For the amount of people that work in this company, for the money that's being spent, and what is going on here, again, is this mostly for the patents? But holy crap. So let's just jump into how this company is spending $50 million a year for a company that apparently only has 20 million that it's made. So guys, you can see these numbers in here are a little absurd. We have 32 million in net operating activities. That's a lot of money. Look at the net loss here. We've lost 49 million last year, 50 million this year. This is how we're accumulating a massive deficit, and I'm curious as to why and what they're doing with all this money. And to me, it just seems like they're patenting the heck out of everything. But is patenting really that expensive, guys? You'd really have to take your time in breaking this down, guys. There's just so much going on here with the amount of money that they're spending, because they're not making a dime. They're really not making any money. I mean, they're not selling anything yet. They're just, again, going over this patent. Where's that patent list? Maybe we should take one more quick brief overview of it, because the intellectual property is pretty much where all this company's money is being held. And I would severely take my time in going through this, guys. If you've never seen a patent company before, they're far and few in between. But when you stumble upon one, essentially, it looks like this. We're looking at a company that's spending more money than it seems like they're ever going to make in the future, and they've convinced a lot of people that this could be something big, yet we don't have any actual product yet. It's not in stores, but it's a big promise, guys. And if this is where the future is headed, that is great. But are these patents in any way moldable so they can be redone and ripped off and resold or whatever? There's a lot of questions that come with this, and this isn't a market that is brand new. So if you're interested in this, I would definitely start looking through these companies and finding ones that maybe are at fair value, because again, guys, wireless charging that doesn't cause cancer, diseases, or problems, which I don't know how you figure that one out. But it's stuff like Tesla talked about, not the car company, the guy, like being able to charge things through the air. Sounded crazy a little while ago, but these guys are saying it's possible. So again, the last thing I want to look at, guys, that I did not particularly enjoy was I can't find any real videos on people actually using these products, or in general proving that you could charge from 15 feet away comfortably. It seems to be the claim, but I've yet to see a video. And in this video, maybe I'll just show you one quick clip of this. Turn that up.
And this might be able to do that, right?
Correct. Exactly right.
And so it just needs to be near it, so it doesn't have to be placed on top of it. It can be placed next to it.
Yes.
It can be placed within an inch or two, probably.
Yeah, that's what we anticipate. We see the amount of power, ranges, and as you get too far, you're going to lose the conceivable power.
So what's the difference here? I mean, if we had a larger unit or something like this that can handle 15 feet, is it just you need more room for antenna, or?
Yeah, there's multiple antennas. There's hundreds of antennas in something that size, and the ASICs as well. So they're almost like Lego building blocks in that the more you add to them, the more power and the further distance we can put out. Okay?
Now
So this is like the only video I could really find, and I noticed they don't show too much in here. Just like the general layout of what they're doing. Again, we're talking about this company right here, guys, are spending $50 million a year on this idea. Oh, your heart sinks a little when you hear those numbers, and I'd love to do a deeper dive and figure out exactly where that money's going. But this is just a quick at a glance, so you guys can get an understanding. And if you are actually interested, do your homework. I'm not a financial advisor, but I love doing these deep dives, and I think you guys really enjoy them. But yeah, let me know if you guys have seen any more on this. If this is something that interests you in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this, consider slapping a like on it. And just consider supporting my channel, guys. I'm working very hard to bring you this really unique information. So stay cool, stay awesome, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.